Hello. If you're able to, please close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Relax your shoulders. Unclench your jaw. Take another deep breath in. And another breath out. You can open your eyes now. My name is David, and welcome to Mindful Moments. How are you today? I hope you're well. I am very well, thank you. A little bit tired. I think in the last couple of weeks after the euphoria of announcing my book, which if you missed it, I've written a book. It's called Frequently Happy. You can pre-order it now. You can search the name anywhere. Search David Larby Frequently Happy anywhere and you'll find it. Or go to the link in my bio on any of my social media accounts. Pitch over. But yes, finally announced my book. I've been talking about that, promoting it, I did the Black British Book Festival, which was an incredible experience. I essentially have had a few amazing weeks talking about something that I put a lot of work into and that I loved doing. And I have a lot of emotion around. Do you know what? I think next episode, next 2 weeks, I will talk about writing the book. I think I would love to do an episode on that. So next episode, I'll talk about writing the book. At the moment, I'm talking a lot about writing the book. I am posting a lot more, feeling and being a lot more visible, seeing a lot more people. And there is a real emotional high that I've been on. And after every emotional high, there's a natural low. Not a low in terms of sadness or feeling down, just energy has been up here and then energy comes down here and you need to reset and you need to rest. Feeling a little bit low has meant that I've been struggling a little bit recently. I repeated that because it felt nice to say. It felt nice to acknowledge out loud. And I feel proud of myself for being able to acknowledge that out loud. As you know, something I work very hard on. But yeah, I've been struggling a little bit recently. I'm in one of those places where all the things I know I need to do just feel like a little bit too much. And it just means that I'm not really completing anything. Like I'm not really doing anything to the level that I want to be doing it to. I'm partially doing it or I'm doing something here and something there just to keep things ticking over, but I'm not really executing anything to the level I want to. And I really want to talk about that today. I want to talk about times where we struggle with things we've worked really hard to be good at and dealing with the fear and worry that comes with that and maintaining perspective through lower times. I know I'm not going to operate at 100% all the time, but something that I heard a long time ago and constantly rings true to me is that your 100% is different on different days. If today I'm capable of 50% of what I'm usually capable of, and I execute that 50%, I've done 100% of what I'm capable of that day. And I'm really having to repeat those things to myself at the moment. I'm trying to figure out why. So today's episode, I don't really have an idea of what I want to say or where I want to end up. I'm just going to say the things I feel like I need to say. And hopefully that goes somewhere worth listening to. I think when I struggle with things that I've worked really hard to be good at or worked really hard to change in myself, I have this sense of worry. It's like pushing myself to get somewhere and then to maintain a certain pace. I'm almost worried that if I slow down, then the things I'm trying to outrun will catch up to me. And mentally, as soon as I start to slow down, as soon as I start to perform at a lower level than what I'd like, I feel my fears and my bad habits biting at my heels and feel like if I don't speed up now, everything's going to fall apart and everything's going to go terribly, which isn't the case. I know that that's me looking at that kind of situation completely the wrong way, because when we change our habits and change bad habits, and when we work through things and take on new things, we don't so much as leave things behind. We don't so much leave things behind as learn to overcome them and learn to work through them. And that learning doesn't go anywhere. Me learning how to overcome certain bad habits, how to overcome certain feelings to do the things I need to do, how to break through things that have held me back and make better choices for myself. That's learning the skill of overcoming difficulty. And just because I've been able to overcome a difficult thing before, it doesn't mean it's never going to be difficult again. Some things are just inherently difficult. Just because someone carries it well, it doesn't mean it's not heavy. Some things are always going to be difficult in nature. And when I'm at my best and in my best kind of mood and I'm in a flow state and I feel like I could deal with anything, I will cruise through that difficult thing as if it wasn't and forget that inherently in nature, that thing is difficult. So when I'm at a time like this, where I feel slightly lower in energy, where things feel slightly difficult across the board, I then will re-encounter that difficult thing, feel its difficulty again, and think there's something wrong with me. I'm losing it. I'm falling apart. I'm falling off. There's something wrong with me. Crisis stations, panic mode. Not the case at all. It's just difficult right now. And I think that the right response to that, there are a few right responses to that. I think one is to pat myself on the back for overcoming it in the first place. It was a difficult thing that I managed to overcome in the first place. Two, to acknowledge that overcoming a difficulty is always something to be proud of, no matter how easy it feels. And once that, actually, no, I'm going to do two again. Two, knowing that overcoming difficulty is always something to be proud of and something that we can look back on. And like I said last episode, actually, that having overcome difficult things means you've always got an example to return to of the last time you did it. I overcame it then, which means I'm strong enough to overcome it now. Proof of concept. I've done it before. I can do it again. And three, making sure that I give myself more credit than to panic when I find difficult things difficult again. Because at least this time, when I face a difficult thing or something I know I find difficult, when I face it from the perspective of having been through it before and having overcome it before, I'm not now re-encountering that thing anew without any experience. I've got the experience of having made it through. And I was made stronger for that experience, and that strength didn't go anywhere just because I don't feel particularly strong right now. Strength is still in me, just as that thing is still inherently difficult. I am still inherently strong. That strength didn't go anywhere. And I can make it through this difficult thing. I absolutely can. I can make it through this difficult time period. I can make it through this time where I'm struggling with things slightly. And lastly, actually, that we don't have to do 100% of the work to make it through difficult times. Sometimes it's as simple as accepting, okay, at the moment I'm finding things difficult, doing what I'm doing, which is maintaining, just keeping it up as much as I can, maybe not performing necessarily to the level that I'd want to, but doing just enough to keep things ticking over. And then naturally, as time passes, things will improve. One of the things that sometimes feels most frustrating about human life, but also something I think is generally a blessing, is that time isn't in our hands. It moves without us having to do anything. And sometimes it's okay to just kick back and let time carry you. It's okay to just lay back in the currents of time and be carried until we feel strong enough to swim again. And I think that is the right thing to do at this point for me. It makes sense to me that I'm tired at the moment. I've been back doing the podcast again, which I'm absolutely loving, but it does take a lot of emotional effort because I care about it so much. And I'm obviously talking so personally and talking about myself and the things I'm going through. And also thinking about how to express my thoughts in a way that will mean that I'm understood, which is a lot of mental effort. And then obviously the emotional effort of putting it out there is a lot as well. Love it, wouldn't change it, but sometimes I feel that. I'm talking about my book, which is something I spent a long time working on, something I'm so proud of, something I love very much. But again, a lot of emotional effort, a lot of vulnerability. I am I have the most supportive, wonderful support network, as I say very frequently, but also trying to keep up my trying to be present for my friends, trying to make sure that I maintain my relationships well, that I'm there for the people who need me to be there for them. And that feels like a lot too. I'm trying to take care of my literal health. As I said, I'm doing these sometimes these shoulder exercises feel like a microcosm of everything because I need to do them every day if I want my shoulders to return to full mobility. So there's not really a choice. I've got to do them every day. And though I'm good at doing the things I need to do for myself consistently, sometimes the inherent difficulty becomes apparent again. And I find it very difficult. And now I'm saying all these things out loud. I don't think I was being dramatic at all. I think it's okay for me to be finding things a little bit tough right now. And just as much as that, I feel a little bit of relief because I know that this isn't going to last forever. I know that in a few weeks, knock on wood, I'm going to look back at this and think, glad we're through that. I know exactly why I felt that way. But now I feel like I could laugh because it was always going to be fine. That's what I'm hoping myself in a few weeks to say. So yeah, I guess what I want to leave everybody with, I've talked a lot about myself. What I want to leave everybody with, leave all of us with, is the knowledge that, or the thought that some things are just inherently difficult. We become very good at dealing with them. We make it almost second nature to deal with them. And in doing that, we forget that they're inherently difficult. So when a time comes that we might not be at 100% and we find ourselves struggling with that thing, we think there's something wrong with us or we think we've regressed. It's not that. It's just that we're having a difficult time, this inherently difficult thing, we're feeling the difficulty of it again. And what to do in that situation? Be proud of yourself for managing to get to a place where you didn't find that difficult anymore. Believe in yourself enough to know that you'll get back to that place where you don't find that thing difficult all the time. And know that you've been through difficult things before. You know you can do them again. You have proof of concept. Anything that's difficult that you're going through, that you felt like, oh no, am I regressing? Am I falling back? Some things are just difficult in nature, and that's okay. You made it through before, you'll do it again. That's really all for me. Thanks so much for being here. Thank you for listening. Whatever you're doing this week, I hope you have a wonderful one.